Assalamualaikum. Hi guys. So let's continue to our next subtopic, which is 5.3 compound interest. So you see the words compound here is different from what we learned before, which is simple interest. Okay, simple interest is just simple, just direct like that, but compound is different, right? So take a full attention to your word compound. Now let's look at our learning objective for this subtopic 5.3. Alright, let's look at our first learning objective. You should able to find compound interest. Our compound interest here is capital I. Alright, it's like as you remember, it's just the same notation as simple interest, just also capital I, but the words compound itself is different. And you also have to know how to find compound amount, which is also capital S. Number 2, you should able to solve related problems to find compound amount, time, interest rate, present value as, and effective rate. And the last one, you should able to solve problems where involving more than one investment or principal, and or more than one nominal rate with different compounding rates. Okay, so before this, for simple interest we learned about simple interest rate, but for compound interest we will have compounding rates. Okay, that's the difference. So to look further, let's learn more. Alright, so what is it? Compound interest. Okay guys, compound interest or capital I. Right, so let's look at this. A common procedure for computing interest is by compounding interest. Okay, under this procedure, the interest is ranked. Right, the interest earned each period is added to the principal for the purpose of computing interest for the next period. The amount of interest computed using this procedure is called the compound interest. Okay, so later we will see what is actually our compound interest that's stated in this paragraph. Alright, that is compound interest. For you to find compound interest is just take the total amount that you have, which is your S minus your principal. Okay, next let's look at our compound amount S. Alright, the compound of future amount, right, the total or future amount value or accumulated value is the final sum at the end of the period. Right, the accumulated value for the end period may be expressed as, so here is our formula. Right, Sn is equal to P, which is our principal, multiplied with 1 plus I to the power of n. So let's look at for each of them. Our Sn here is the accumulated value at the end of period. Do you know what means accumulated? That you kumpul. Okay, so Sn is our final value. P is your original principal or present value, right? Yeah, the money that you have right now that you want to invest. Okay, that is P. I is your interest rate. Okay, here your I. Okay, for compound method you will use I by calculate, take the J divide by M. So what is J, what is M? Let's look further. Next we have N. N is the number of compounding period, which you have to take T, the years, multiply with M. Okay, your J is your nominal rate. Okay, actually in the question you will given rate with the words compounding at the back, so that is our J. Okay, you need J for you to find your I. And next one is your M. M is the number of compounding period in 1 year. So later we will look at M and what do we have for M. And T T is of course your time in year. Okay. Okay. The adjust period M, alright, is the number of times the interest is calculated per annum or per year. Yeah, the number of times the interest is calculated. Alright, how many times? Okay, in the question you will see these words. Okay, you will see this word, either it is daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, or semi-annually. Okay, so you need to know for daily, that means per year. Daily means every day, right? Okay, so every day we will use ordinary, which is 300 days, which is our M is equal to 360 times per annum. Okay, so if the question put the word daily there, that means you have to use M equal to 360. Okay, for weekly by week, so we have 552. Okay, so our M is 52. Monthly, we have 12 months, so our M is 12. Quarterly, that means 4 times per year. That means our M is 4. Semi-annually, that means half a year, so your M is 2 times per annum. So your M is depend on the words at the questions. Okay, the words here. Okay, so you need to take note for that one. Next one, what do we have here? Let's look at a simple example will illustrate this procedure. Okay, assume that we have deposit RM 8,000 in a credit union. Deposit. Okay, the words deposit there is your P. Okay, this is your P, 8,000. Okay, you have 8,000 and it pays interest of 8% per year compounded quarterly. Okay, so you look here, you have the word compound, so it is under compound. Okay, compound interest. Okay, for compound interest, of course you have to know your M, per year compounded quarterly. So what is 8%? Is it your I or is it your J? Okay, when you have interest, the word interest that come with compounded at the back of the value. Okay, so we have here what I put in the box, interest 8% compounded. Okay, the word quarterly is already M equal to 4. Okay, that one is easy. Interest 8% compounded. So here is our G. Okay, we know that on the slide before in your books, for you to find I is you take your J and divide by M. So for I you need to calculate. Okay, quarterly here, that means 4. Your interest being calculated 4 times per year. Okay, next, continue to read this case. Assume that we want to determine the interest and the amount of money. What is interest? Interest is your capital I. Amount of money is your capital S. Okay, we will earn on deposit at the end of the year if all interest is left in the saving account. So we are talking about you have 8,000 with the 8% compounded quarterly, that means M equal to 4. So kita nak check, we want to find your interest and amount. So let's look at this timeline, okay, or raja that I already prepared here. Okay, this timeline shows how the compound interest is computed, right? So at the beginning, what do we have? We have 8,000. Okay, you have information here. M is equal to 4. So this is what we mean. M is equal to 4. Timeline here, this is your P. Your P is 80,000. Okay, and your M is equal to 4 and your J is equal to 8%. Okay, so for you to find your I is your J divided by M. Your J is 0.08 divided by M is 4. So at the end, you will get 0.02. So that's why your I is equal to 2%. Okay. What does it mean with M equal to 4? So as you can see here, we have 4 times here. Okay. You will have 4 times for us to calculate. Okay. Interest. Okay. So you have 4 times. So let's look at the calculation for our first quarter. Your first quarter, for you to find your S, you must add S is equal to your principal value plus I. Okay, your interest. So 8,000 is your principal. Okay, this is your P. This is your P. So how you want to find your I there? Okay, so we want to understand for that part. Okay, so now as you see here, there is correction in your books. So your P is 8,000, not 80,000. Okay, depends on our equations before. Okay, so let's focus on our first quarter. Okay guys, for first quarter, of course, as I said earlier, for you to find the accumulated value for your first quarter is your S1 is equal to P1 plus I1. Okay, P1 plus I1. So your P1s there is 8,000. So now let's find your I1. Okay, your interest for first quarter. Okay, we know that your I is 0.02. Okay, 0.02. So for you to find your interest, compound interest, capital I, just take the percentage of small I, which is 2%. You multiply with your P1. This is your P1. Okay, let me change my pen color. Okay, so just take 2%. Multiply with 8,000, so you will get 160. Okay, you will get 160 there. So here that's 160. So that's mean for the first quarter you already get 160 ringgit. So the total money that you have is 8,160 ringgit. Okay, that is the sum of money for quarter 1. Next, we need to move to second quarter. For second quarter, again, okay, your S is take the letters P. Okay, your letters P is already changed. Okay, your principal is already changed because we move to the next quarter. Okay, because this is compound, it's not the same as simple. For simple, you just calculate one only, but for compound, we have to calculate, stop, take the latest value, and calculate, stop, take the latest value, and so on. Okay, you get what I mean? So here, your P, so here will be your P2. Okay, this will be your P2. Okay, and for you to find your I2 with the same interest, which is 2%, you calculate with your P2. Okay, because that is your latest principal. So you see at the left side, so here you will get 163.20. Okay, that is your compound interest. So for you to find your S, just add both of them, so you get the total money for your second quarter is 8,323 ringgit 20. Okay, actually your money from your first quarter is included in your second quarter because it is compound. Okay, so the total money you have 8,300 there. Okay, next we move to third quarter. For the third quarter, your your P3 is the latest, the money that you have, which is here. Okay, P3. Okay, alright, so I think you can see this one. So this will be your P3, and for you to find your I3, we take your 2% again with the same I, multiply with the latest principal that you have, 8,300. So here you will have 166.46. That is your interest, compound interest. Okay, so for us to find your S, just add your P and S. Okay, 8,489 will be your P4. Okay, P4 here. Okay, it's your P4 here. And for us to find your I4, okay, your compound interest, 2% multiply with 8,489 ringgit 66 cents. So it will be, the compound interest for fourth quarter is 169 ringgit 79 cents. Okay, so at the end of that 1 year, your total money will have 8,659 ringgit 46 cents. Okay, so this is what we call as compound interest. How compound interest is computed? Okay, it depends on your M. If your M is 12, you have to make the it will be 12 process. Okay, that's how. Alright, this is for you to understand how actually the process is going on. Okay, so now let's compare what we learned before, simple interest with compound interest. Okay, let's say you have okay, I say this is, alright, this is case compound, kan? Ini adalah case compound awak. Alright, so now let's try to use the same money to start with the same 8,000, but we use simple. Okay, so for simple interest, for you to calculate your interest, simple interest, the capital I is just use the formula I equal to PRT, just like that, right? Your 8,000 multiply with your interest rate is 0.08. Okay, your R's there, and your T is 1 year, so what do you got is 640 ringgit. Okay, and actually, okay, I forgot to show you for case compound. Alright, compound case, your I compound is actually I1 plus I2 plus I3 plus I4. So please put on your calculator. Okay, calculate it. So at the end, what do you get? You will have RM 659 ringgit 46 cents. That means that's the total interest that you gain. Okay, so that is for compound. For simple interest, how much do you get? 640 ringgit. With the same time, 1 year, you have simple, you have compound. So which one got more money? It's compound. Okay, your compound get more money. So that is different, about 90 ringgit 46 cents. Okay, so what we want to say to you is the accumulated value for compound interest is greater than simple interest. So that means if you go to the bank, okay, if the officer at the bank give you two options, either for you to apply for simple or compound, you should choose compound, because compound should give you more interest. Okay, interest amount. Okay, do you get what I mean? Okay, so that's good. So let's move to our exercises and example. Let's look at this question. Suppose that 1,000 is invested in a saving bank. So guys, this is your capital P, which earns interest of rate 8% per year, compounded annually. Okay, compounded, you have the word interest, value, and compounded. Okay guys, this is your J. Okay, this is not, you see the word compounded there, so that this is not your simple interest. Okay, so don't use 5.1. That's how you categorize your problems. Okay, the case of your problems. And we have annually here, so annually is your M, so your M is equal to 1. If all interest is left in an account, what does it mean? That means you didn't take out the money, the interest that you got from the account. You maintain the money there inside the bank, okay, inside the account. What will be the account balance after 10 years? So here we have information T equal to 10. Account balance means you want to find S. Okay, so your first step for topic Mac Finance, you should take out the information first. Alright, so we have P equal to 1000, J equal to 0.08. Alright, we need I. Okay, we need I. Automatic is J over M. Okay, as your M is 1, your J is 0.08, so your I is 0.08 and your T is 10 years. Okay, good. Next, let's calculate to find S. Okay, remember the formula that we learned before? Your S is equal to P multiplied with 1 plus I to the power of N. Okay, it's different from your simple interest. If simple interest, like I write in green, simple interest, alright class, simple is S, we take the P, multiply with I, that's it. But for compound amount, we can't use this one, simple. Okay, this is not simple. Alright, so continue. Let's substitute the value 1000, 1 plus 0.08 to the power of N. Yes, we don't use T here. We need to find your N. Okay, your N is with formula M multiplied with T. So your M is 1, T is 10. So N is our 10. Okay, so if we look here, you have two formula that you have to remember. Okay, because it's not given. Usually we don't give you the value of I and N. We will give you the value of J, M, and T. Okay, that's why you have to know how to find I and M. So here, let's calculate our value. At the end, you should get RM 2,158 ringgit 92 cent. Okay, that's it. Okay, so